Hi, it's Joe with the Level Up Your Gym podcast, and we need to have a serious conversation about where to go with your marketing in 2021. Now, before I get into that conversation, all gym owners listening to this should stop by levelupyourgym.com and get on our free newsletter. I don't always have enough content to shoot a full podcast, and I'll just send out little bits and pieces and instructional videos each morning to our free levelupyourgym.com subscribers. So you should grab that content while you can. So let's get back to your marketing and where you should take your fitness studio or gym in 2021. Here's some considerations. Number one, social media is becoming very saturated. I'm not telling you to turn it off, and I'm not telling you to not post on your social media, but you're not going to get the same amount of juice for the squeeze that you could in 2020, 2019, 2018. If you go back to about 2014, when we really were able to make a killing on gym marketing on Facebook, it just isn't there right now. So what we're doing as our company that services hundreds of members at our physical locations, and I'm sitting in one now because we're doing this process as we speak in front of me outside the office. That's why the lights are off. If you're watching this on YouTube, we're batch videoing a ton of our content for our local gym, YouTube, and our podcasts. But here's what I would start considering. On social media, you should be checking the boxes for, it's getting done. You don't have to blow the social media posts out of the water with beautiful copy. You should be doing testimonials. You should be showing pictures of gym members looking happy and enjoying their workouts. However, I do consult with a lot of gyms that have a social media coordinator, but do not have the other stuff we're talking about today. The social media is that shiny object that they like to grab, and they like to put a lot of time, specifically labor hours, behind it, and they don't consider that part of their budget because they're not spending ad spend, but they are investing a ton of labor, and that adds up. I would like to do it the other way, and we will do it the other way through this year. We will put the ad spend in when we want because we're not going to spend a lot of labor hours on it in between. So if we do an offer or promotion that we know is not going to get distributed, if we just post it organically, unless we grab some shares, we're just going to put money behind it. And if we're doing a paid offer on social, or we're doing an offer on social media, it's just going to be a paid offer. And in between that, we're going to check the boxes with our social proof. Just simple stuff going post to post, which you should be doing. You shouldn't have just a dormant channel. But what the heck are we going to do if we're not doing social media? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to tighten up your internal systems. Now, this isn't the sexy tip. You need to stay on, though, as we talk more about where we can go with this. Tighten up your internal strategies. You need to get reactivations going. You need to get referrals going. You need to have a plan to nurture your members, make them feel loved and welcome, and they stay for a very long time so you're not filling a leaky bucket. Most gym owners can turn off this podcast right now and start working on those. We're spending a whole month dedicated to, it was our Black Friday sale where I'm dedicating my time to gym owners to help them tighten up their referrals and reactivations and learn how to grow their gyms without a continued just draining of your resources in ad spend. A lot of that is referrals and reactivation. So let's say you have that running pretty tight and you have your gym systems running very well. How are you going to attract people that aren't in your facility and they have not heard of you yet? There's 3 strategies I want you to consider. Number 1, local joint ventures. Number 2, the YouTube. And number 3, podcasts. Now, these all 3 are integrated together. And they've taken us significantly less time because we're batching them right now as we used to spend on trying to get social media posts up across our 3 facilities from a one centralized location. It was becoming a nightmare. So the first thing you need to do is you need to do good in your community, and you need to have people, other business owners, other organizations that support you and want to see you succeed. That is far and above more important than having a social media ad that works for a couple of weeks. An example of this would be a gymnastics place in town that we go over and we're buddies with. When they have a kids night, we'll send over some kids. When we have a parents program, they send over some moms whose kids work out at the gymnastics studio. We talk to them regularly. We share business ideas and concepts. We help each other out whenever we can. We've done drive-through trunk or treats and stuff together. We've done a lot of work together. Now, when I'm speaking to the gym owners in the Level Up Your Gym inner circle, we are talking about different strategies to get and find those people. How you approach them will determine whether you're successful or not. And that is a whole 2-hour presentation. But listen, for this, I would highly recommend going further than just saying, hey, I will give my members 10% off if you give your members 10% off to my place. That deal hardly ever works. Actually, I don't want to say never works, but that's as close to never as you can get in marketing. Just putting up a little sign at someone's, it's like leaving your business cards. What used to be popular and used to pass for fitness marketing was like, oh, put a fishbowl up and draw a business card and give someone a free session. That crap never works. Or I should say, it very rarely works, and it gets you such a small group of members and such a large amount of labor and work. It typically isn't worth it. I'd find people that have your ideal members and to serve them. I'd buddy up with them, and I'd see what I could do to serve, help, and be very generous to helping their cause. And using the law of reciprocity, start reaping the rewards of that just naturally. Community relations are huge. We've looked at physical therapists, different stores, different studios, different chiropractors, massage therapists, kids ninja classes like obstacle course racing, adult obstacle course racing. Different cafes have partnered with us. Running store for sure has been a huge partner for us. So there's a lot out in your local community that you need to get out and know. Don't try to spend your way out of not making relationships in your community. You will not be able to do it, and it will not serve the longevity of your company. So the action plans. You need to become a local authority, and you need to have a platform to do that. And yeah, social media is complementary to it, but it's not going to be the primary thing, because when you post on Instagram and you post on the Facebook, those posts get buried right away. And if they're not really that searchable, they're not going to exist much past that first day of very minimal reach. I like, again, and I didn't like it for a little while, but I'm back to liking YouTube for local brick and mortar. Oh no, what are we going to talk about? Answer your frequently asked questions. Get on a YouTube video, answer a bunch of questions you get asked. Put your very local keyword terms in there, and you have that content shot very nicely. Have a good call to action to visit you for a free trial, free consult, call this number, book this, whatever. Have the same call to action as long as you can in each, and build up a little bit of a following and providing a little bit of a content, but more important, explaining why it's important to take care of your fitness in your local area, and then give them an opportunity to do so. While that reach will not be as significant initially as social media, it has much more longevity. You can use it for content to your newsletter, so you can keep nurturing people along. You can take those videos, put them on your website as a blog post, and get some SEO benefits from it too. If you're in it for the long game, you have to care about this stuff. So you can do a lot with those videos. Don't expect a lot of people to watch it. Call immediately from it and join right away. This is going to take posting a couple of videos a week for months till you build that up. But on the back end, you're also building up your SEO. You're also providing content to your newsletter list through the process. The last one I mentioned is podcasts. You are listening to one right now, and I run one for our local gyms. What should you do on your podcast? Well, I think you should use it as a platform to help build your community relationships. You get members on, you help them share their success stories, things that they've overcome, why getting fit's important to them, have some conversations, share stories, be engaging, and then now you have a platform to invite other local professionals on. So I just, in this very, very quote-unquote studio, in this dark office I'm sitting in now as I record this, you can see, if you're watching on YouTube, my laptop light trying to strain to keep up with the dark room. But you can use this as a platform to host other people. So just in this studio, this quote-unquote studio, I hosted a local physician, and I've had a local nurse practitioner on this morning where we got on a call. I said, could you share a couple tips? The nurse practitioner does a great job and has some certification in diabetes management. So she came on, shared some amazing tips. I gave them the platform. I'll send some people over to their physician's office. A bunch of their physicians already go to our facility. She already attends our facility. And we're building that relationship by providing a platform of content to them. And being featured on podcasts is cool. It helps them feel significant. I've had some awesome people on this, and I love sharing this platform with other people in the industry. You need to do that on a local level. Here's the rub. You need to, with YouTube and podcasts, set real expectations. You're not going to get on, you're not going to compete with those national channels that have millions of views, and that should never be your goal. You need to think seriously about just attracting people in your local community. It does not take a huge marketing budget, and it doesn't take a high amount of production quality. What we're doing right now is we're batching our videos together. We have one member that teaches videography that comes in for us. We pay him a little bit, and he comes in for 6 hours and shoots our videos for the next 90 days. I'm in here. Our head coach is out there. I did a bunch of videos. He's doing a bunch of videos where we're not giving away free workouts. We're just explaining some reason why it's important to work out and giving one tip in each video, making it easily digestible, and then giving the call to action to come visit us for our free session. We're going to use those tips to send out to members in our newsletter throughout the first 90 days. So our Q1 content will be done by the end of next week when we put all the keyword terms in there and we get them all on our blog post and our SEO all tightened up. And then we'll do it again in 90 days. We'll block out 6 hours and we'll do the whole thing over again. And we'll do it consistently until we get the results, because we're setting realistic expectations. It's not that millions of people will view these. It's that tens to hundreds of these people who live right by us will view these and find them shareable, including our podcast, and share them with their friends and family members. So let's come full circle on this podcast so I don't get too much ranting. Social media is cool. We're going to do some ad spend there. However, evergreen is going to be important to the longevity of your company, and you need to put some serious effort and consideration into how you're going to build relationships in your local community, provide value, and use that as a means to grow your company through the pandemics, through the ups and downs, through the change of social media platforms as some fall in favor and out of favor. All those things can be shored up now by putting in the effort to do some local marketing that costs you a goose egg, and not a $0, but a little bit of effort and a little bit of pre-planning. Now, if you find these tips helpful, you are going to want to get on your levelupyourgym.com newsletter. If you're listening to this and you didn't partake in our Q1 marketing, I'm sorry, it's over, but we will do it again for Q2. So shoot me an email at joe@levelupyourgym.com. We're going to take a wait list. We're going to take 10 gyms, and we're going to help them do their next quarter's planning and marketing and come up with the titles and everything they're supposed to do for what I'm explaining in this video. Talk to you soon.